Wow, what's happening?
Yes, sir.
I had some felony charges of fallback. Still was brought back. Fall back. If I ain't a hot boy, then what do you call that? I'm gonna be in all black. Man, just wanted to start off with a little humor tonight, man. What's up? What's happening? This your man, Mr. Mindset Therapy himself. Thank y'all for joining us, man. Yeah, we're a little early because we wanted to be, kind of like before time. That's what I've been practicing on, being before time, not on time, before time. So again, man, this is Mindset Therapy, Real Talk Podcast, man. Here at Mindset Therapy, we help men, women, and children believe in themselves. Again, we offer 7 simple strategies to developing a positive mindset, and we stand on that 10 toes down. Man, look, I know y'all like, hey, look, this is like deja vu. Man, it is, because check this out, man. My brother, this part 2 of what he got to give us, man. And again, at Mindset Therapy, we don't glorify or try to minimize or glorify with things we've been through. We just try to share our experience, so it may help someone. It may not help you. It may help someone you know. It may help one of your relatives. Then again, we just don't know. So we share this not to build a following of we won't build a following of no, I don't want go down that street. You Definitely. Feel me? I have my man Byron Gray again. Thank you, my brother, for coming on and man, being a part of Mindset Therapy Real Talk Podcast, Life After Time, man. Your story was impeccable. Your story, your testimony is one of the ones, man. So I know we barely scratched the surface the last time we was on, man. And to this day, that podcast still, doing numbers, is steady spinning, because it was real powerful. But we got a lot of things we got to get to, man. And I just want to welcome you again and thank you for blessing us with your grace. And man, we gonna get into it, man, because we got some things to get into. You feel me? How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, blessed. I appreciate you having me on again. Being blessed on the platform. Like I said before, laying it all out here with hopes of it getting to the right people that need it, so they know that the mistakes that we made, they don't have to go down that same path and make those unnecessary mistakes.
Man, that was well spoken. That was well said, man. And again, man, we come from the same area, really, 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 really close to each other. But it goes to show you how generations in life change. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're a couple of generations down, but the same things you've been through, some of the same battles, same gunshot wounds, the same fight for your life. It's something how it come full circle, and we never. You know what they say. New Orleans is one of the smallest cities in the United States, if not the smallest. But we was that close to each other and didn't run across. You done ran across a couple of paths that came under me. You know what I'm saying? That I know for sure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie.
Right.
I believe in statistics. You feel me? Straight up, because that's the numbers. That's what they're seeing. They're not taking it from no one else but the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the numbers could be fluctuated, but if you hit them first and you understand what you're looking at, you know it's gonna tell you the truth before anybody can open their mouth.
Real.
I know on the first podcast we talked about your experience with JP and you being a young wild one, you know what I'm saying? Coming out of Lancashire, man. Like I said, bro, I had a lot of loved ones, man. You know, my family grew up right there in Orleans Village, and you know, we used to hit it hard, you know what I'm saying? Orleans Village, Lancashire, the project, man, it was like a it was like a
Yeah.
own little world right there, you know what I'm saying? And we had
Yeah.
we was in the day, and I can't forget about Golden Heights, you know what I'm saying? All the quarter parties, the project parties, you know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers and sisters that, you know, not here with us today, but a lot of them is here, you know, because I'm in the upper echelon, you know, with the 40, late 40s, early 50s, you know what I'm saying? I'm up there, I'm blessed.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of y'all that was younger that run along in your age 30, 35, 36s, y'all was into a whole different lifestyle. You know, y'all was a cut from a cloth. You
Mm-hmm.
know, y'all was really, really daring. You know,
Mm-hmm.
y'all done things that we wouldn't even think about doing. You know, we loved the
Yeah.
money. We'd get that money, but thing y'all was doing it for real.
Yeah.
Not glorifying it, but just saying, man, you know, wow, you know, what a difference, a changed mind and a different set of eyes. Because when you have a new set of eyes, you see things different.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you said, man, you had a kid, and the kid changed a lot of
Definitely.
you know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about that, but just breaking back into the story, man. We know how JP laid you down and you know kept your family from around you, man, and how Hurricane Katrina was a curse and a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a curse because we lost a lot of people and we lost a lot, but it was a blessing to a lot of people because they got second chances. They got
Definitely.
opportunities to live a different lifestyle, and some didn't even take the opportunity and went back. You have
Mm-hmm.
some that took that opportunity and took advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was one of the ones on the borderline that I didn't know if I liked it or hated it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because I didn't start liking it till I got shot.
That's
And I
why
got
there's always a little blessing in it, right? It's
right.
a
And I
blessing
got
in
shot.
disguise.
That's right. That's right. And people find that crazy, man. Like, man, you damn near died. And you, man, because nobody from Houston shot me.
Mm-mm.
You know, I was, you know, for a long time, man, New Orleans was the laughing stock because, you know, the murder rate was off the chain between here and New Orleans, but we was killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Them dudes from out here was just sitting back watching it.
Watching it. Mm-hmm.
We was destroying each other. Even if we knew it or we did, we was destroying ourselves. Um, but I thank God for a change and opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I thank him for wow, that was crazy. I thank him for giving me an opportunity to just see things different. And being you, uh man, you was young. You was
Mm-hmm.
young, bro. You was off the post real young, bro. But you know, God used you in a tremendous way. You know what I'm saying? He using you not, you know, because God do work through people. I truly believe that, bro. In your story, you know, you got to have one of the ones to get me to that point that we're like, man, you special.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm edifying you now, brother. You special. If you know it, or if you don't know it, I'm here to tell you you special. And you talking to a man that got shot point blank range with a riot gun, died 3 times, 6 surgeries, 16 blood transfusion, stayed in the hospital 4 months and 2 weeks, wasn't predicted to make it through the first night of being shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you this. What you went through was, man, I was in pain and I wasn't incarcerated in the hospital. You was incarcerated in the hospital. So I know they didn't treat you with the utmost respect.
Right.
So tell me how did that play on your mental? I mean, getting to where you at now, because that's hard to learn to love and to trust again after the people who was who your mother paid in her tax money, because at the time you
Mm-hmm.
was paying no taxes because you was a child.
Mm-hmm.
We paid them for their services, and here they shot her child. And
Mm-hmm.
not only shot her child, but made up a whole story around the shooting so he can be the bad guy, so they can uh, be justified in what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But people lose their mind.
That's true. Well, what I say to that, I once again, thanks for having me on. But I think for a little bit I did kind of lose my mind. I did because I didn't immediately learn my lesson. Laid up in that hospital, 2 surgeries back to back, not able to see the family, in the most excruciating pain I ever felt. Physical
Mm,
pain, emotional pain. Um, it was like, you know, I kind of lost my mind for a little bit. I wasn't exactly. I have memory of it. I wasn't exactly the most respectful at the time. I was talking crazy to them people immediately. Because it's just it was what I was made of, right?
mm,
And then while you sitting there, like I said, there's a lot of little intricate details about the story, like how I, you get shot. The moment you get shot is really like it's immediate pain, right? But it's
mm,
so quick. It's so quick you stunned for a second, and then the adrenaline going, and what with all of the thoughts that's running through your head, you're on a run, right? And then they cuff you.
mm.
They cuff you face down. I'm swimming in my blood, like blood was all in my eye. Blood was everywhere. I'm cuffed face down, handcuffed behind me. And I have like a horrible memory of how they was talking to me, like, the normal arrest. Put your fucking hands behind your back, knee in my back, I have like a horrible
JP.
memory of that. But the thing is I tell people though, I um I understand as an adult,
Mm,
I put myself in
mm.
that predicament, you know. I do
Accountability.
understand. Yeah, you definitely gotta hold yourself accountable. Early
Mm,
on I didn't, but to like I said, to answer your question, I did go crazy for a little bit because I definitely wasn't in my right mind after. I even had thoughts on how I'm gonna get out of this. Like I'm looking around, cuffed to the bed. I couldn't even walk. You know what I'm saying? You still trying to figure out like how I'm gonna get out of this. Like
mm,
there's no way out of it. There's no
mhm.
way out of it. Even being the fastest one on the football team, I couldn't run nowhere. I didn't have no legs. My legs was gone. My strength was
Wow.
gone. So to answer that question, I definitely lost my mind for a little bit. Even my first phone call home, which was months down the line, how I worded it, like, you know, as if it was nothing. Even though they had read my charges to me, it's nothing. I'm gonna get out of this but eventually I walked out of there head up. But I had to go through it. I had to go through it. So, and they took me through the mud on that one. So, um, yeah, definitely lost my mind, my man. Like, and like I tell people, like I was 15, right? But
Mhm,
every time something like that happened to you, a little piece of your innocence is gone. I never look at police the same. I never look at the system the same. Not saying I was supposed to get, the red carpet rolled out, but just some of the things that happened, the way they talk to me, the way they talk to my mama, the way they talk to my grandmother, the way they handle my family, and I'm not playing a pity game. I'm just saying I have memory of this. Lying to him, telling him I'm not here, and I'm laying right here, and I can hear it, but I don't have a voice to speak. Um, talking to me. One of the officers took a phone call, and it was his daughter. And he was disciplining his daughter because she
Wow.
has. I remember this. He was disciplining his daughter because she had snuck out, and he was talking to his wife, and and then he looks over at me. He got a mischievous, promiscuous daughter. I heard the whole conversation. But she didn't get the treatment I got, and she was out in the streets and doing drugs and smoke, caught her smoking some weed, did things I had did, but she didn't get the punishment that I got, and there was no type of respect for what I had, no type of empathy in his eyes towards me, so I remember all of that. I remember all of that.
He probably was sitting there thinking, it's your fault his daughter like that.
Could be, could be,
Hmm.
it's crazy how the world tied together. And I mean, it was so many conversations. Like the officers, you saw how human they was when they came to clock in and sit overnight to the morning, all day with me. You know, I remember all of this. I remember all of this, how they was talking, how they didn't, or how a lot of them was like, well, it's good for him because, look what he was doing. Never had a conversation with me, nothing. But I mean, I don't hate him for it, but like I said, it changed my perspective on the system in general. You know, I just don't
Because
see it the
don't
same.
don't don't when you hire in the comment section is going crazy, by the way. It is.
Hmm.
Thank y'all and we're gonna have a chance to read through all of them.
Hmm.
But uh before you become a police officer, you have to take a
Oh.
rigorous a psychology and uh, psychiatry and psychologist test, right? I
Hmm.
mean, to see if you're mentally fit to be a service to your community, right?
Right.
I think all back then the whole Jackson Parish Police Department missed that class.
Hmm.
Even the ones that look like us, because
Hmm.
care. They didn't care who child it was, and they went to school with half our parents.
Hmm.
They didn't care, no empathy, no compassion, no nothing. If you die, you die. Oh well.
They rootless, man. Like I remember, I'm not gonna say his name, but I remember him telling me he was like, "Well, B, what you think?
Hmm.
You think the person that grew up wanting to be a librarian go put on that uniform?
Hmm.
The person that grew up and wanted to be the florist go and put on that uniform?" That's how he told me. Like, bro, it's something in them. They savages now.
Hmm.
Everybody didn't grow up and be like, well, this all I could do. We don't live in them times no more. This is the only job I could get, police officer. No, they went and they wanted to do that job.
Hmm.
And I'ma say this. I'ma say this. Shout out to all the good ones.
Yeah, most definitely.
I appreciate the good ones. And I think I appreciate what y'all do for this country. And reason why I say that is because I was I haven't traveled abroad much, but I was in Jamaica 2 years ago on vacation, and we decided to leave the resort and go into the trenches, so to speak, right? And before we went, we took the drone and we flew it over in the neighborhood to see what it was about. Like, yeah, we're gonna go over there. But in order to get there, we had to go through the mountains, and the terrain is crazy in Jamaica. Well, anyway, we get there, we speeding, and the steering wheel is on the opposite side, and the freeway
Right.
traffic is on the opposite side. But we flying, the police pull us over with the radar, pull us over, car full of Americans, make us all get out immediately.
Hmm.
Start trying to get us for money and all that. And I'm like,
Extortion.
yeah, exactly. But in this country, they'll do that. So what I'm saying is sometimes we'll say stuff, being from a first world country. The police there, yeah, they all is dirty, and all the whole world got some dirty in it. But
Yeah.
over there, look how they really get down. So appreciate what you have, the structure. Appreciate the uh the infrastructure that you have. Um, because there's a way of holding them accountable. There was nothing we could do. We gave them the money. I
Look,
went in my pocket. I got my American dollars, gave it to them.
just think about
Just
how many times they done that to people.
up so many times. And he asked me for a picture. He want to take a picture with me. I took the picture with him. I don't hate him. I took the picture with him, but that would never happen over here. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but it's highly unlikely that would happen over here. So what I'm getting at, just to tell that story. Look, I appreciate what the good police do for us when somebody's speeding up the highway and you just sent your wife with your 4 kids and she pregnant with your fifth, and he stopped her before he crashed and kill your wife and your kids. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I appreciate them for doing their job. I appreciate, when we have these wild massacres in America, which it is crazy right now, right? And they go out there and put their life on the line, active shooter, and they go and they handle business. I appreciate, that they put their
All
life
right.
on the line
Since
because
you
I'm not
bring
doing
this
that.
up, since you brought this up,
Mhm.
and one brother, I don't know who that was, said in the comment section saying, "Man, how was it to be locked up in jail and be shot?" But look, hold on, wait before you answer
Yeah,
that. I'm gonna ask
yeah.
you. You said, and I do have a lot of respect and admiration for the good officers because they
Mhm.
get a bad lick these days,
Mhm.
especially with these crazy people and how they acting, to the people that's just trying to do it. Now you got some that do too much, but then again you got some that do their job and is really here to serve and protect. They have a in Uvalde, Texas, the guy
Mhm.
that's on trial for
The
you
police
know
chief.
yeah. I mean, what do you think about that? I have mixed emotions about that because, okay,
I
I
know
know them
about
people
it.
hurt. They want
Mhm.
justice for those kids, bro. And I understand that, bro. The guy who done it, the police chief didn't call him and tell him go do it. You never
Mhm.
know. I mean, if he was scared, that is that a law? It,
Yeah.
is that, if he was really scared for his life? I mean, I don't know. I don't think he wanted those kids to die. I don't think, he meant to go there and he knew he got x-ray vision. He see this dude shooting up all these kids. Now, me, I do feel like if I was first son, I got to address the shooter. I got to go get him. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mhm.
who knows, by you addressing the shooter, you might hit one of the kids as well because it's gonna
Yeah.
get ugly.
Yeah, it's gonna
But
get ugly. Yeah.
he decided to hold steadfast. And I don't know what he was waiting on. That was a long time, but I don't think he should lose his life behind a lack of a judgment in a horrific situation like that. I don't know. I'm asking you since you brought it
So
up.
I'm gonna tell you something why I don't really have no mercy for him. Really,
Wow.
I don't have no mercy for him. I'm gonna tell you why. Just like we just said, they take an oath to protect and serve.
All
You
right.
fail. You fail to protect and you
Mm-hmm.
fail to
To
serve.
serve.
So you
Okay.
know, I mean,
I,
we gotta
I
have some type of morals here. I laid down and I had my son at 18 years old.
right.
Morally, I have a son I need to protect, provide, and lead my son.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I gotta do, you know. It don't matter that I don't have the skills to do the job. It don't matter I'm 18 years old. I haven't lived enough life. It don't matter. It don't matter my pops was in the penitentiary my whole life. I never had it. It don't matter that I just came off of this attempt murder charge and I was in a wheelchair for a year at 15. Now I'm having a baby at 18. And I'm in a whole nother city, gotta learn the lingo, and it don't matter. I mean, this is what it is. Step
Yep.
up and do it. Now I get it. I get it. But the thing is you signed up for that job and you ain't just a deputy. You was the
I
man.
understand it. I
And you was
understand.
first on the scene. So I
Yeah,
don't really got no mercy for him, to be honest with you. I'm well versed on what's going on with him right now. But I don't
yeah.
really got no mercy for him.
So you think he should lose the rest of his life in prison for it?
I don't think he should lose the rest of his life in the prison. And to be honest with you, he ain't gonna lose the rest of his life. He gonna have to do some time though, but he ain't about to lose his whole life.
I think he should.
They throw these numbers out here, and very few do all that time. He ain't about
I
to do.
mean, in the state of Texas,
Yeah, well, that's true too. But but
let's get that right.
you right. You right
Because
about
if you
that.
get time in
In
Louisiana, you doing
Louisiana,
it every
you about
day.
to do. Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that, and I get it. They might feel a little bad for him or whatever, but I mean,
But
I'm
them
not just
parents
out
not
here.
holding back, man. Them parents want some blood,
I
but them
mean,
parents,
I mean that's their baby.
yeah.
You assigned to this zip code. Anything go down, you responsible for it to the backup get here. Handle business. You know,
Okay,
handle
okay.
business.
Before we get to you having your son, I want you to answer the brother. I think it was a brother or sister. I didn't look at the name. I
What
just
it's like being shot while locked up?
yeah, who that is?
I didn't. I can't see. It's so small on
Hold
here,
on, let me
but
make it bigger. Let me make it bigger.
I didn't see the name. And to be honest with you, I don't even think it's so small on there. But I will answer that question.
Yeah, answer the question. Yeah.
It's horrible, man. Like, so first of all,
Oh, he said it was me. Uh, Aaron. Great. Oh,
that's my
that's
boy. That's who
yeah,
I came up. So so
yeah.
so Aaron,
Gray. Aaron Gray. Yeah.
that's my cousin.
9652. Okay.
Yeah, that's my cousin. That's my mama's sister son, my first cousin. I came up with him. I was born on the 14th, he was born on the 16th. We came up since day one, 2 days apart. The
What's
sisters
up,
was pregnant.
twin?
Yeah. Well, so in that story, Aaron is in that story because he actually walked out there and saw me cuffed on the ground, bleeding everywhere. They immediately arrested his ass. Like, well, how you know this happened? They thought he was a part of it, but they really ran and told him, look, this what just happened with B. He came out there. So he
Oh, so
got
they
that
thought he
horror.
jumped out. Yeah,
They
jumped
thought
out.
he was one of the fleeing, suspects. But yeah, so to answer that question, it's horrible, man, because like I told y'all before, everybody they glorify this gangster world, but like I said, it ain't gangster when you got to get your ass wiped and you got to wear a
Mhm.
pamper, and you're in the most pain you ever been in before in your life, and somebody gotta bathe you, and
Got a
then when they
bed
bathe
sore.
you, they bathe
Oh,
you in front of people, your ass naked. It's not cool. They gotta feed you. I couldn't even feed my own self. It's not cool. And then you got one nurse in Revolve. You got one nurse. She leave home, come back to give you your medicine. I take my medicine. In the middle of the night, I vomit. So I didn't really take the medicine. So I'm
medicine.
in pain. I'm in pain all night. It's freezing, and everybody know jail be cold, freezing. They give you one little blanket. You're in a wheelchair. It ain't cool, and you don't know that until you experience it.
Mm.
Good thing I had a decent name a little bit. People knew who I was because I didn't have to deal with like no bullying or none of nobody taking my shit. I didn't have to deal with that, but that just put that on top of it when you in a situation like that. You sitting there, you looking at your food, you want to eat it, but you can't eat it. Yeah, and them type of places, they'll take your food, they'll take your food, eat it, and just leave you that empty plate. They do, that. There's all type of cutthroat games in there. And I didn't have to experience that, but I had to experience getting talked about crazy because I couldn't control my bowels. I
Mhm.
had to get talked about getting bathed in front of people. That's not cool. So it's not cool. And sometimes these little young bucks they need a head because I walked through that. Nothing saved me. I walked through it, but it ain't cool at all. And these little young bucks need to know that. I was like a cool guy. What I'm saying? I like to dress fly, like to deal with the ladies in school. Guess what? You can't do none of that shit. You can't do none of that no more. You put on the same uniform. Everybody else got the same uniform. Put on the ugly ass shoes. Everybody got them shoes on. You eat when you don't want to eat it. Don't matter. That's what you eating. It's cold. Don't matter. You don't got the luxury of going mess with the thermostat. Don't matter. What I'm saying? You want to stay up and just kind of be on the phone. You can't do that. Time lights out. This shit ain't cool. I don't know why people glorify it like
Man,
that because there's nothing cool about it. It's really not.
man,
And I got it at
and
the juvenile level. I ain't even make it to. I straightened up after that, but I mean, I ain't even make it to the adult
but they
level where
were
it's probably
trying to
10
charge
times
you
worse.
as an adult though.
They was, and they was this close. They was this close to getting what they wanted.
Well, they would have sent you in Gretna like that, you would have been on a medical tip, but that's still like, man,
It'd have been in there with all the old people.
man, not but infections, diseases,
Infectious diseases. That's what you'd have been over there with.
man. But
Mm-hmm.
boy, you give me a flashback, boy. Look,
Mm-hmm.
so to recap, all right, man, you went through all that mental anguish. Man, I can understand the post traumatic stress that came with that. You know, like see, I have been dealing with mental anguish, guilt for a long time because I actually my first encounter with any kind of drama, I watched my best friend lose his life. Matter of fact, his brains jumped in my lap. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And but on the outside looking in, people thought I was the ringleader. They thought I was the youngest one.
Mm-hmm.
I was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But to them, I was the grew to grow. But really, I hadn't even bust my gun at that time. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
used to carry, but I ain't had to do that. Well, I bust, but I ain't never struck nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When that happened, man, it flipped my world inside out. Then plus being the youngest one, then being blamed for it. Uh, if I ain't do it, I set it up. If I ain't set it up, man, and I didn't know what happened. I couldn't tell you. The only thing I could do is tell you I was there with my dog, and that's where I wanted to be. And he told me he wanted me to be with him, and I was with him. I just wish he would have told me exactly what was going on with the other two dudes. You feel me? And I would have been more on, but that's no here nor there. I dealt with that for years, and I come to the conclusion that God didn't want me to intervene in His work. Really, it could have been, for a long time. I wish both of us would have died. That's it. October 10th, 1992. Man, I used to wish, man, they would have knocked both our brains out. It would have been better. I felt like that for years because everything that came with it, knowing I was a loyal dog. I was a loyal man. You say get him, I'm getting him. You say go get it, I'm going to get it. You say flip it, I'm flipping it 3 times. Loyal to the folk. And a lot of people took advantage of that because niggas being young, 13, 14 years old, I don't know nothing. But you think back now and say, man, damn, we was that young, but back then we felt like we were so old.
That's true. Felt invincible.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, and it got bad after that. But so I say that to say I understand what the mental breakdown part is. I lost it for a long time. I lost my mind for years, and I really was 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot out because I didn't care. I didn't. I had no care, no worry, no nothing in the world. You cross me, it's business. But I never was a dirty person. I never was get into it with my homeboy. I ain't even fight my homeboys. So when that killing homeboy started, man, I was so far away from that. I was like, man, boy, you gotta go to his funeral. His mom. You used to sleep by his house. I can't do that. You can't even come to me and say, man, won't you line him up? Man, no, boy, line who up? Boy, I'm gonna kill you. So that right there was just like a nightmare to see that take, because on the West Bank that didn't really happen. In every project you saw,
Right.
you seen it.
Yeah.
Especially in my part of Harvard, we didn't do it, man. They might fight, but they wasn't killing nobody back there. You come from back there, they'll swarm you like a pack of bees, but they're not killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
But man, as the generations went to flipping, and man, people went to moving back there that's not really from back there, don't have that love.
Mm-hmm.
It was easier. So I can understand. I want to know what was the what was your mindset knowing you about to be a young father? Because look, listen to
Mm-hmm.
me. My partners used to get mad at me because these, yeah, bro, this one got this for my. I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you don't get no stars for taking care of your kids, yo.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's
Yeah.
your job. Nigga,
Yeah.
how you know? Yeah, excuse my friend. And where how you know? You ain't had no daddy. That's how I know. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
know. Because I know what the dad was supposed to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get that. So you doing what you supposed to do as a father to your kid, you don't get no stars, homie.
Mm-hmm.
I salute you, but I'm not about to give you no party and pop no balloons and all that for because you doing your job.
That's automatic. You just gotta do it.
But how did you know that at such a young age?
I didn't come up with pops in the house, but I did have Papa, you heard me, early on, which
Say
my
that again.
Papa. I had my grandmother and
That's a good
grandfather.
one. That's a
And
good one.
Papa, I was closer with my mama father, but I had Pops father for a little bit. I got a very small memory of that. But what I'm getting at is we used to go work with Papa. We used to go cut the grass with him. He cut all the yards in Lancashire. He had a bunch of work throughout Avondale. We used to go for
Hmm.
the summer and cut grass with him. He didn't talk much. He smoked a bunch of cigarettes. He just worked.
His
He was
action showed you.
that's all he did. That's it. And I ain't know look, I ain't know he had other kids. He was long gone. You know what I'm saying? He didn't speak on nothing. Just I got a memory of him, and I was like really like, what's the word? I was like, I admired him from a distance, the way he shine his boots and the way he cook his food, the way he yell at mom on them. He always yell at her when he wanted something, the way he talk. He was strong, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the way he had, in New Orleans, everybody got them gold teeth. The way he had his gold teeth, I later got my gold teeth the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like I had that. Now mind you, Papa died when I was 10, but I had it. I saw it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And a lot of it come down to choice. You know what I'm saying? So when BJ was born, I was 18. BJ was born on Hurricane Ike. Anybody that's from Houston, they know September 13th, 2008 was Hurricane Ike. You know what I'm saying? So, I got to call my baby mama, tell me her water broke, you know. So I just,
Uh,
well, I'm listening. What you say?
my son was born August 15th, 2008.
August. So 1 month before, one
Your
month
son was
before
born,
BJ.
it was born what, September 13th?
Yeah.
That's my
September
old,
13th.
that's my middle son birthday.
September 13th? Yeah. It's
That's
a
crazy.
connection now. Yeah.
Man, hey,
Yeah. Nah, BJ was born on September 13th. Oh, wait. It was
wow.
Hurricane Ike in Houston.
Yeah.
I got the call. My baby mama said, her water had broke. So I left work, went over there, picked her up, called my mama like I know the hurricane about to hit, but we about to head to the hospital. You want to come?" She said, "Yeah."
Mm.
Drove, scooped her up. We drove to Sugar Land, checked in. They say, "Nah, it's a false alarm." Then they called somebody else and they
Mm.
did another check. Like, yeah, her water broke. So she was in labor for 25 hours. We went in at
Wow.
7. We went in at 7
Wow.
a.m. They had them at 8 a.m. the next day. Now, mind you, this the hurricane going on. It's
25 hours?
crazy. 25 hours. Hurricane going on. Is no lights. You could hear the wind ravaging the building. It was crazy. They called me in like early that morning at 6 a.m. They was like, "We're gonna do a few more tests, but if she don't dilate and make any changes, we're
They're
gonna go
gonna
ahead
take
and
it.
emergency C-section." So I was dozing off, waking up, and they finally was like, "We're gonna do emergency C-section." And when they do that, I wasn't gonna be able to allow it in the room. So I was a little upset about that. But the man came to me, he saw the look on my face. He told me, "Just give me 20 minutes. I'm gonna have him out here." So, he was a man of his word. 25, 30 minutes later, they came, got me, showed me my newborn. He fit in my hand like this. It was like he fit right in my hand. Gave him to me, Then, they called my mom in there. My mom was able to see him. They said give
That's
him about an
crazy,
hour.
bro. That
They
they said I was in there the whole time. They done a C-section on
I,
Charlotte and
it had a lot to do with the hurricane. It
okay.
was no lights in the hospital. It was
They're
crazy
working
in
on
there.
the generator.
They
Yeah.
was yeah, they're working on generators. They was taking people in off the street, so the next
Naya,
morning.
I got your question. I'm gonna ask him your question. That's a good question. I'm gonna ask my. I just wanted to let you know that that's NIYAM.
Hmm.
You know who that is?
Yeah, I know who that
QX.
is.
I mean Q8X.
Yeah, I know who that is.
All right.
But they after he was born, I got a chance to see him. But here was the twist in the relationship. We had been to all the prenatal visits, and
Mm-hmm.
they never said anything about her being sick. You
Oh,
know, and we stayed there a couple of days. Because we didn't have lights. They sent me to go check to see if our apartment had lights. We had lights, so I came back, got BJ, got her, took him home, and this like a 5 days in, maybe we was in the hospital. I'm returning back to work. I return back. You know how they go. The baby can't leave the house for 6 weeks.
mm-hmm.
So I take him home, and then I go home, and then next day, it's time to return to work after the hurricane. So I go to work. I put my phone on the desk to charge. I go to work. I was working at a car wash at the time. I come back to my phone maybe an hour later. I got a bunch of missed calls, and it's her. She
Mm.
had a seizure. Didn't even know she had a seizure. Dropped the baby, everything. Didn't even know. She just woke up. She didn't remember nothing. I get home, I get her. Now, mind you, she's so out of it. I could tell I need to get her back to the hospital. So I had to bring her and BJ back to the hospital. Get her to the hospital. She passed out. It was like a nightmare for me. She passed out while I'm getting her in the ER. I got my newborn in one arm. I got her in the other. They wheel us to the back, you know, checking her. She has another seizure. After about 30 minutes of them hooking her up on all these tubes and all of this, they eventually was like, we gotta keep her. So I'm standing there with my newborn, like, I don't even know what the fuck to do, really, to be honest with you. The lady looked at me, she was like, she just took him in, she checked on BJ a little bit because they had just saw us up there a couple of days ago. And then they kept her. So I had to get in my car and drive home with my newborn, and they kept his mama. Now here's the thing about that
Wait,
story.
so but the seizure that means she was losing oxygen to her brain, right?
She had almost died. She had eclampsia, postpartum eclampsia, whatever you call it. She had eclampsia. So she basically was dying and we didn't even know. And they usually diagnose that early on. They didn't even know. She was basically dying, but they sent me home with my newborn. I got home, I'm looking at him. He ain't nothing but a week old. And I'm like, it was nothing I could do. They didn't give me no guidebook on it. Was nobody I could call. It was a hurricane just hit. I barely had lights. Everything was still flooded. Thank God I had a car that was parked at the hospital when it happened because nobody cars was operating over there. It was bad. So for six for they kept her for 5 weeks. Now just think about this. This what people don't understand about this traumatizing story. What people don't understand. A newborn ain't even supposed to be separated from their mama that long.
No.
You
Mm-mm.
know what I'm saying? But all he had was me. So just think about feeding them every 2 hours, changing their pamper, all this daddy doing it. This me, just every 2 hours a week. I remember doing this. And then it hit me again like, why this shit keep happening? Like what these events keep happening like this for? Like literally, it's just me and BJ. From week 1 to week 6. And all I could do is call her and tell her when she called me, I could tell her, he good, but she was so sick. She hadn't even had a memory of things. Like it was just awful. But I did what I was supposed to do. I had moms come over and help me. But mom gotta go to work. I had my sister come over, you know. At the time, I still was in high school. So they had a couple of teachers, guidance counselor came. They knew the situation. So, but it was just me. At night, it was just me. And then he had became upside down. He had been up in the day, sleep at night. I mean, sleep in the day, up at night. He was upside down. So, but I did all that. I got a memory of all of that. Sleeping on the couch, sleeping on the floor, burping them, all of that for 5 weeks until they released her. And but the thing about that is when they was able to reunite in the hospital, it wasn't even the same. She was already gone. Something wasn't right. I could see it in her, and I had to make that tough decision, eventually, like something ain't right, But now, he's 17 now, it still ain't what it should be, but you can't get no redos. I said that last time. You really can't get no redos. You just gotta keep looking for it, just gotta keep doing your thing, you know. Um, there's a reason why I went through that. Um, there's a lesson in everything you go through, you know.
It's a
Um,
blessing in every lesson,
e-
bro.
every single one, because he a daddy's boy,
That's
Um,
beautiful.
but
You're a gangster, dog. You know how many young kids would have ran in that situation?
trust me, I know I had a few of it. I got some stories on that too. But yeah,
Oh
uh,
my God.
yeah. What was Naya question?
I'm
I'm gonna.
blown. You didn't just
I know, right?
okay. Naya said, do you feel like the system failed you or protected you being that you were so young? It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely, I felt like the system had failed me. Look, it's like two sides to that though. Yeah, I felt like the system failed me because how scandalous they played it. Definitely,
But
but
you know why they done it like that? Just so
oh,
you
they
would,
gotta cover their own ass.
yeah.
No, they gotta cover their own ass. I already know that, But yeah, I think it failed me in a way. But like, I could tell you right now, anybody who meet me, nobody know I've been through that. I
Mm,
stand tall in all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, like you just said, it's a blessing in every lesson. I don't regret none of that experience. None of it. I'm not. It's not my style anyway to be like, man, I wish this, wish that, because I know wishing ain't real. So I kind of let that go. But yeah, I do feel like the system definitely failed me in so many ways because um, there was, how you supposed to get a court appointed attorney. You understand that whole process? All that mean is you ain't got the money.
you ain't
You
got
know
the
what I'm
money.
saying? That's all that mean. So they give you somebody just to represent you, because by law they gotta have some type of representation in there.
Representation.
But the
And they
way they
give you
handle
who they
me,
want.
yeah, exactly. They give you who they want you to have, and then the way the man was talking to me, like he had me feeling all comfortable. But the way he was coming back with deals and shit, it was like, no sir, no sir. And I get it. That's no different than anybody who ain't got no money. But 15 years old, like it's a sucker deal, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. I was in there with other people that had court appointed attorneys, but why did I get that one? And then the process of changing when you need to change a court appointed attorney, it's a waste of time even going through that. So you got this one for free.
In Jefferson Parish, that's the only place that happens. And if you was in any other place outside,
it wouldn't have been that hard.
Man, you would have had somebody actually fighting for you. Even the court-appointed lawyers in other states are very, very good. Only in Louisiana they work in cohorts with the judge and the district attorney, to get you to take the most time they can possibly get you to take. So that was his job, to make you feel like you could trust him and he's your friend and he's there for you. That's why he's coming back with them astronomical numbers.
I ain't gonna lie though, me and him didn't see eye to eye a few times. Like, I had to let him know, like, I had to look at him like one time, like, would you take this deal? Like, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. But like I said, everything kind of played out in my favor because the case has so many holes in it.
Yeah.
So many holes in it.
They just wanted to drag it on so you wouldn't get a chance to sue.
That's a whole
nother
needed
to take time, because if you would have took responsibility for that, you can't go back.
Sue. You can't go sue. Yeah, it's a vicious game, man. I don't suggest no young man. Somebody asked me, and he might be on here, but somebody asked me today. He texted me. He said, I was letting him know I'll be on at 7, be logged in. He said, I got a question for you. He said, are you ashamed of your past? He just was curious. I was like, you know what? Yeah and no. But, yeah, because I did some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was raised in the hood, but my parents taught me better. I came from decent mother, decent grandmother, decent grandfather. Yeah, my pops was in the penitentiary. I didn't know him like that at all, really. But I knew right from wrong. So yeah, I was ashamed of the decisions that I made. But now I'm not ashamed of it because, it's a lot of.
Oh, all right. I get you. I see where you at. And that's right. And that's right. And you absolutely right, bro. I was just speaking on this, man, at a conference, and it was like, man, are you mad at your upbringing? I'm like, what? Mad at who? Man, my grandmother and my mother was the best. Man, Catholic schools, man. I made my decisions on my own. I was taught right from wrong. Man, some people, man, some of the jail people said, man, he the most polite criminal I ever met. I only hustled. I didn't murder nobody. I didn't rape nobody. I was a hustler. That's what I done. All my conviction is for hustle, possession. I never, man, look. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Look, if I ain't do that, my mom pop me in my mouth. What you say? Yeah. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, my mom was
manners. Yeah. Manners. Yeah. They.
And I tell them, no man ain't taught me that, bro. So I don't want to hear that, oh, the feminine thing. Man, look, bro, my mama raised gangsters. My grandmother raised, man, look, bro, all that feminine, that's what they got going on now. When we was coming up, boy, they had nothing but single mothers, and none of them dudes were soft.
Not at all.
None of them. None of them. So you can miss me with that. It's on that household. Whatever's going on in that household, that's what that child is gonna reenact. If that's all he sees, mama popping and all on the Instagram, what the little boy gonna start doing?
I'm gonna start doing that.
Reenacting what he's seeing. If he sees his mama boyfriend with the tool and doing all of what he gonna do?
He gonna mimic that.
You gonna go try to find it and bop.
Yep.
That's how it happened. See, people don't understand. Nothing don't be by chance. Nothing don't happen by mistake. Is even hate and love is taught. Oh, you heard that Caucasian boy say, blah, 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 blah. I said that child was taught that. When a baby is born, the first thing the baby do is smile. Because he know no right, he know no wrong, he's happy. He's pure, wholesome.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
As that baby grow and start to understand and start to develop, is
You're
what that
influenced
baby
by something.
is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Either he gonna take it in love or he gonna take it in hate.
And that's kind of what I told dude today, man. How you get involved in that life, man. It's environment, man. Environment. Your parents could do a whole lot, but when you leave the house and you go to school and you go play
Hmm.
curb up down the street and you go around, move around the neighborhood, you make friends and you get involved in shit. You come home, you keep it a secret, you know. You don't tell
That's
your
right.
parents, but you kind of get involved in some shit and then you become good at it. Like I tell people, what if you came up and everybody hustlers and then you might try to hustle a little bit, but you good at it. What if when y'all take off for the weekend, go to the show, and you know how we used to do? We try to
Yes.
pull numbers, and you the best at doing that. What if you slap box? You the best at doing that. What if when you foot race, play football, you the best at doing that? All it do is make it keep going harder, cause it come
That's
natural.
that's right, Miss. I think that's BG Liz. I think she said something. She said your past helps build your character, which can make you or break you. Depends on your will to become better. And that's what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? My past only I used my past as a stepping stone. I didn't allow, and I made some bad decisions in my life, but it was from my own choices. It wasn't because nobody bucked me up. I had a decision to make. I never had a co-defendant. I never had, so I did do some things right, but I done more things wrong, you
Mm-hmm.
know, for us to hurt myself. That I only hurt myself by making some of the decisions I made. But I don't blame nobody for that but me. I take accountability for it. So it only helped me in develop me now. The mental distraught, the mental anguish of going through all those things, I have to deal with that. I don't want to take that out on my kids. I don't want to take that on and my wife and the kids be the first one to get it because they're the closest thing around you. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect. This ain't the house Jack built, so I try my best to, avoid letting it spill out, even though they're there and they willing to help and they willing to, but just like I was a man when I made those bad choices, I gotta be a man to deal with those choices. You know what I'm saying? So,
Consequences. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out like that and use, oh, I ain't had this, I ain't had, nah, no, I done that. And I was wrong. I was down bad. I had to make amends to a lot of things, but now I can work on me. I'm all right. Because when God forgive you, I don't care who don't forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
Once God clean that slate, man, look, I'm gonna holler at you, homie. You could be mad all your life. I don't care. Because
Yeah.
guess what? You forgiven. If you done me something, I forgive you when you first done it.
For real.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
All them excuses people be trying to make, man, that was dope right there. That was real dope. And yes, Aaron, people are a product of their environment. That's true, bro. But we got to pray and ask God for that discernment to show us the Mason Dixon line between the snakes, the fakes, and the hates. You feel me? And that's a true statement, man, because somebody can really envy you just because of the decisions you make now. They can envy you because you're not the same old you once were, and they mad. They hate that. They want you to go back to the same old, you know, crazy man, and that ain't
Mm-hmm.
happening. They ain't happening. Now, don't get it twisted. You know, we can make it happen, but man, I'm not. Look, as long as you don't mess with me and my family, I'm all right.
That's real.
God bless you. God, now I'm not step on my shoe. I'm gonna say excuse me.
Yeah.
You dig?
Yeah. We ain't
Man,
looking
look.
for nothing.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel less than no man saying you got that young. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking at the news yesterday how they gave these free access to the NRG to watch the Texans playoff game. These people in there fighting, get to the parking lot, they pulling out sticks and that. I'm like, do y'all understand? Do you want to go to jail that bad?
That's crazy.
Do you understand what you're doing? Do you understand how many cameras on you right now? Not only that, but the people who's filming you. I'm not even talking about the cameras that's posted all in the. Come on, yo, you
Live
going to jail?
stream. Mm-hmm.
You going to jail? All right, what?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, he made you that mad. Go ahead, do what you gonna do. You going to jail?
That's
Throw your
crazy.
life away,
That's crazy.
man. I'm sick of it, bro. I'm sick of it, man. You that angry with that person, bro, to where you just gonna throw all your that, and then guess what? It ain't gonna hurt. Yeah, it's gonna hurt you, but it's gonna destroy your mom. It's gonna destroy your sisters, your
Mm-hmm.
kids. It's a ripple effect, man. Mindset therapy, real talk podcast, man. Give them something, bro. Give them something before we get out here. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Yes,
If
sir.
you feel nothing on this, man, share with 3 people and let them rock out with it, man. B, what you got coming up, bro?
Man, same old man. Like I told everybody, go check out pxfs.org. Go check me out there. And I'm now on Instagram at Express Prime. That's the plug. That's XPRESSPRIME. Go check me out. I'm new there, so I'm building. So I never had a social media before. I'm almost 40 years old. Look, I'm just not jumping on social media, but this platform then pushed me to make some out of the box decisions that I've been just I've been so private for so long. Like this is something I never talk about. People been knowing me for a long time. They be like, I never knew none of that. Yeah, because it ain't something I talk about. So yeah, so
I'm
that's what I
sorry,
got going.
forgive me for butchering
Nah, you good?
no, I was talking to the sister. She say G B Liz or something. I'm not good at the breaking down the little
The lingo,
pronunciation.
the
Huh? Yeah,
lingo.
yeah, I'm still stuck on that, but it's GB Liz, I think. Leezy, Leezy, B
Hmm.
Leezy, Leezy.
Okay, I
So
don't even know who that is. I'm gonna have to find out.
nah, but that's people making it. That's how they do now. I just
Yeah,
never
yeah.
caught
No,
on,
I got you. I got you.
but it's dope. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got their own little, little little mark they go by. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Especially on social media, instead of using a real name, they use you know,
I got you.
a saying.
Hmm.
To identify themselves. This is me, Big Weezy, 4410. I don't know. Man, but look, bro, it's always been a plum pleasing pleasure, man. We got a lot of work to do this year, bro. So we will be connecting. You told me your master craftsman and taking care of this credit.
Yes, sir.
I'm in the same field myself. That's one of the things I do focus on and do at the office is credit repair.
Okay.
Um, so we can most definitely connect and put
We
something
could
together.
collab on something. I like that.
Man, financial education is big with me.
Yes, sir.
We got the screaming from the top of the mountain. You feel me?
Yes,
But
sir.
man, always man, it's always a knockout, drag out to have you on, bro. Is the connection is second to none, bro. Thank you for blessing the podcast with your
I
presence.
appreciate you having me on, brother.
Oh, man, this part two. This
Yes,
part two. You know
sir.
what
Yes,
I'm saying?
sir.
We gonna do it till you be having people on your own podcast. You hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you coming? You
I
coming? You coming,
appreciate
man?
it. And like I
Again,
told everybody last time, the book, the autobiography is in the works. I don't know if Mr. Randall on tonight, but that's my mentor as far as the book is concerned. So I got works that's in the works for the people that like to dive in and read. We're gonna have that in the works. 2026, we want to have that up and on the shelf. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of books, man, y'all go to Amazon, check out Beating the Game, 7 Steps to Developing a Positive Mindset by yours truly, Mr. Mindset Therapy. Man, it's an easy read. It's a positive information, man. You're gonna learn a lot about me and my little struggle. You feel me? But at the same time, is a most definitely a must read. Check it out. I got the digital format and I have the paperback. So go check it out. And look, man, leave me a good review, man. You know, but I want you to read the book first and read the book first, and then we can do everything else after that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I know if you read the book, it's gonna be dope. So you know what I'm saying? It's all good. Man, again, this is Mindset Therapy, Real Talk Podcast. Here at Mindset Therapy, we help men, women, and children believe in themselves again. We offer 7 simple strategies to developing a positive mindset, and we stand on that. Man, it has been a plum pleasing pleasure, man, with my man B, man. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me. You got me. You got me.
Yeah.
We locked in. We official like a referee with a whistle.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
we locked in, man. Like a wave cap in a penitentiary trying to get waved, Jerry. You know. Say, bro, but again, man, thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for all the comments. Thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for coming on, supporting B. Man, don't be a stranger, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. We have some good things coming up, man, and for the future, for the spring and the summer. So y'all stay plugged in, man. Next week, same time, new guest, and we're gonna rock out like we supposed to be, man. And hopefully I can get my man on the co-host with me a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Maybe
Yeah.
that's one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I appreciate it.
But yeah, man, this is our project for this year. I'm trying to help beat Springboard to his own, platform. So most definitely it's gonna happen. Like you said, I don't wish it's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
that definitely,
Man,
definitely.
y'all good night, man. Love y'all. Y'all be safe out there and y'all stay warm, man. Mindset Therapy, Real Talk Podcast. You know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.